If you are in your 70s, 80s, or 90s and you cannot get up and down off of the floor, there is an exercise program that can change your life that you can do at your dining room table. My name's John Gentry, and I have been administering a workout for 8 years that has basically saved my parents' lives. My mom is even a polio survivor and is still walking at the age 75. In the book Body by Science by Dr. Doug McGuff and John Little, the last chapter is called The Ideal Training Program for Seniors and Elderly. Now, it describes a workout that we have administered on machines, but if you follow this methodology and you really put in enough effort, you can change your life, you can double your strength, you can mitigate over 37 chronic illnesses, and this can save your life too. What you're about to watch is 3 videos in one that will teach you how to live a longer life with strength training. And there's an accompanying PDF that you can download down below that will get you started doing this and explain everything that you need to know and guide you through it. If you are an absolute beginner at the age 70, 80, or 90, and you just haven't done any muscle conditioning, the type of exercise that we actually need to get long-term health benefits, then this video is for you, especially if you are unable to get on the ground whatsoever. This is a workout with just a dining room table, basically, a belt, any type of regular belt, and then a bunch of bath towels. And you can condition your entire body this way and get really, really good results from it. See, the problem with Sit and Be Fit workouts, or there's a YouTube channel, More Life Health Seniors, it's basically the same thing. It's not exercise, it's physiotherapy. So what is exercise? This is actually my 3rd free PDF that I'm going to give away, and it's in the description box. And this is just this workout exactly. It's basically a good portion of the whole entire body for people that are extremely unconditioned, 70, 80, 90. So one of my clients, she was my oldest client that I've ever had, 96, her name's Dr. Helen Key, and she passed away this February, and she was a very spunky older lady. If I were suggesting a workout to her and she were alive today, this would be that workout. This is a good starting point for absolutely everyone that hasn't been conditioned at all. If my parents weren't to the more highly conditioned level that they were at right now, in their mid-70s, this is the workout that I would have them start with. So what we do know is that intensity is what's responsible for the majority of the health benefits that come from doing long-term exercise. The delivery mechanism is a microscopic protein called myokine. Myokines are released into the bloodstream during very intense exercise. What I mean by intense is putting forth a lot of effort. You know the old adage of you get what you put in. That's actually true for exercise as well. The amount of effort that we put into it is exactly the health benefits that we're going to get back. And Dr. Henneman's size principle explains this very well. Motor units are responsible for a certain amount of muscle fibers being recruited. And a full motor unit can be anything from 3 muscle fibers all the way up to thousands of muscle fibers. So all Dr. Henneman's size principle says is that motor units are recruited in order from small to large. And so that means the very last bit, when we can't hold on any longer through that exercise, when our muscles are hitting a point of what's called momentary muscular failure, where it's so intense that we just simply have to lower out of the exercise and stop it. The great thing, of course, is that we can do this all at the dinner table. So tomorrow I'm going to release a video, and it's going to be all lower body. And then the next day I'm going to release a video, and it's going to be all upper body. And it's going to cover a few exercises for each one. And like I said, the PDF down below also covers those. But I want to give you an idea of what we're talking about a little bit deeper when we say intensity and can't hold on any longer. We're not even talking about the place where the muscles begin to burn. In fact, you'll see as I just explain this a little bit deeper before I go for today, before tomorrow's video, there is a link that I'll also leave in the corner here. I left a video for myokines a little bit back, and then of course I'll leave a video here that explains a little bit deeper the timed static contractions that I'm talking about. There's a PDF that's released in that video also. There are a lot of people over the years who have taught these very high intensity strength training principles. Arthur Jones, of course, was one of the most important. Dr. Doug McGuff wrote a book, Body by Science, that really popularized these principles with machines in a very, very low friction machine environment, almost a clinical controlled environment that can be applied in a gym. In fact, my biggest course is about all of that methodology. Taught it for about 7 years in that setting. These same principles being applied to this. Ken Hutchins wrote the Super Slow Manual, contributed hugely to the machines aspect of it. And he wrote many books years later. And he's doing with a lot of his clients this protocol that is immensely useful because it's so safe. And people can do this that aren't conditioned at all, and they can see immense benefits without having to have any machines. So that's what this is all about. This is the stimulus that the body needs biologically. What we're talking about here is a workout based on science, and it's not based on mythology. There's so much mythology about senior citizens that their body somehow needs some other different biological stimulus than the one that everybody else needs in order to grow and to have these, wonderful health benefits that come in turn. And then, of course, the better health benefits from having more muscle on your body is just another wonderful side effect, of the workout, essentially. And I've done a lot of different isometric programs, static hold programs over the years. And I found that this method of gently increasing intensity as time moves forward has been the best way for my parents to get results doing this. In fact, they said that it was more intense than some of their Nautilus machine workouts, which is wonderful. This is exactly what, is what everybody needs, some sort of strength training, And for those people, of course, that don't want to be in the gym, this is a perfect alternative for you. In fact, most 80-year-olds, 90-year-olds would just shake their head and think there's no way I would ever go to a gym. And of course, that's most people's thought process too. So that's why I'm here in many ways. The theory behind it is this, and I explained it a little bit better in that video up above, but we have 3 levels of gently increasing intensity levels, pushing. And we start out pushing with a very moderate amount of effort, never quickly moving at all, just gently increasing intensity. We stay with that intensity for about 30 seconds. We increase that pressure against the immovable object just very slowly over the course of 5 seconds to push almost as hard as we dare. And then after another 30 seconds, that same slow increase to push for the last 30 seconds as hard as you dare. Generally, we're going to be pushing against immovable objects. That's why we're using a dinner table. In fact, we'd prefer it to be pretty heavy, and we prefer for the chair to not have to be able to move very easily on the floor. The idea at the very end of this is to be using absolutely as much intensity as you possibly can push with, but doing it in a way that is absolutely safe as well. So if you were to just release and let go of this as an exercise, you would basically either just sit down or drop some towels into your lap or something of that nature. It's completely safe to do. So we'll get started with that tomorrow. You can download that PDF right down below. This is the all dining room table. No getting down on the floor for this. This is really for deconditioned people. So please share this video if you can for people who really want to begin exercising, don't know where to begin, can't get on the floor, and this is going to really help them out. All 3 of these videos will be in a playlist. I'll see you on the next video. We'll be doing the lower body tomorrow. Hey everyone, welcome back to part 2 of the dining room table workout video. The reason that I'm posting this is because this is really the heart and core of the course that I'm developing. For us to be able to do things like get down on the floor, if we're extremely deconditioned and we simply can't get up and down off the floor, this is our beginning point. So if you haven't quite watched the first video, I'm just going to link it up above. So you can go back and see a little bit more about this method, where it came from, things of that nature. And today we're doing the lower body. There's a free PDF down below. In that PDF is all of the exercises that we're going to be going over here today, and then all of the exercises that we're going to be going over tomorrow as well. There are very specific reasons that I picked the exercises that I did. This is just a beginning point for getting in deeper into strength training and to training a few more muscle groups as well as you go, but this will get you started in such a way that you'll notice a very big difference as time moves forward from incorporating these into your weekly workouts. The very most important lower body exercise is the squat, because it uses the most amount of muscle groups in your lower body or your body at all. It doesn't matter if you can't lower very far right now. Do what you can and do it safely. The important thing first and foremost is we don't ever want to feel any pinching in our joints whatsoever, or any straining feeling in our muscles. We want it to be the muscle burning is all. Now some of our muscles, like our lats, don't really burn as much as others, but today we're going to be using the quads quite a bit. They're going to be burning like crazy. And so you're definitely going to feel that. We're going to be working a couple of other muscle groups as well, because the quads, the hamstrings, the glutes, a little bit of lower back is used for that squat we're doing first. We're also going to be doing a mobilization exercise that basically holds us up from side to side like that. If we were going to fall over from one side, these are the muscles that would keep us from falling over, essentially. We're also going to be working our calves, which are the muscles that would keep us from falling over forward, face first. So these are the most important ones to work in the lower body. There's others that are going to be in my course, but for now, just doing this is going to change everything for you if you put this into practice and actually use it. So let's get started. I'm going to guide you through this just simply by using the cues that I would use simply in my parents' workouts with them, or with clients when I'm introducing them to these exercises and teaching them how to do them on their own as well. When I do any type of consultation that's also available with my course as well, then you do get some more hands-on instruction if you have questions over Zoom and things of that nature. It's very helpful. The squat is up first. Sometimes I like to describe this as barely standing up, because the maximum contraction point, when you'll feel your muscles the most, is when you're lowered down the absolute furthest that you can be in that position. So it's basically just like standing up out of a chair. That's the best way to describe this. It'll be best to keep your chair probably at about a distance right here, to where you can just regularly stand up here and have room. Would probably be ideal. And so starting with the squat, we want to make sure that we're not creating any type of pinching in our lower back by leaning over too far, but we want to lean over enough to where we can feel our glutes working. We want to squeeze the glutes purposefully, those muscles that we sit on. We want to squeeze those together as we are engaging our core through the entire exercise. Of course, like I said, no pinching. We don't want to feel anything in our knees that's pinching, anything in our ankles or anything in our hips. If you do feel anything like that, then I want you to just gently rest and don't push yourself any further. This is only to burn the muscles, so we have that biological improvement we're looking for from this stimulus. So as you begin, just very gently beginning to lower yourself over the course of 5 seconds or so into a position where you're lowering yourself down and you feel a moderate amount of effort. You're squeezing the glutes, you're deeply breathing through your mouth and nose, and you're engaged in the core. Stable here, we're still feeling the glute muscles. This is usually the time frame when the quads right above your knees, those burning muscles, they'll start to burn. So stick with me and continue to just very gently, over the course of 5 seconds, lower yourself into a deeper position here where you're squeezing and contracting your muscles almost as hard as you dare. Stable still, you can engage your core, breathing deeply, fixed in this position. The very last position is coming up right here. We want to push ourselves to the most intensity that we're able to dare. Slowly, over the course of 5 seconds, lower a little bit further until you are fixed into a position, breathing deep, to where you can feel those muscles so deeply, right in the glutes, the quads. You are holding this in a position as hard as you dare, as hard as you can contract these muscles. Breathe deep and just very gently, slowly lower, and the exercise is over. You may want to take a break in between exercises, and that's absolutely fine. I find a lot of people, especially beginning, you'll feel out of breath. It'll feel like you exerted more effort than you have in a very long time. That's how you know that exercise is working, and that's how you get that myokine response in the body. So don't fret if this was intense. After a little break, you can quiet down and realize you really put your muscles through some effort that's doing something impactful and meaningful and intense enough to make a difference in the body. This next exercise is the stabilizing muscles that I was talking about from side to side. These are actually right in your hips, and some muscles here in the hip flexors. Not a ton. You're really going to feel it a whole lot more there inside the glutes. So, I put this belt just right here. This is about, I would say, shoulder width apart. And, what we're going to do is we're going to, just like you can think, we're going to contract very deeply, pushing in this direction. You can see that the belt is right above my knee, but below where my quadriceps are the muscles that are maybe still a little bit tired from the last exercise. Very gently and slowly over the course of 5 seconds, begin to push outward against the belt as you squeeze and feel the hips. You're pushing with a moderate amount of effort. We want to feel the muscles working. They will start to feel like they're burning just a little bit from the very beginning. You'll begin to feel this. It really starts to kick in a little bit later, so stick with me. We want to breathe deep. We want to have good posture. You're sitting straight up and down. You're fixed in a good position where the core can gently engage. The stomach muscles have engagement. You're breathing through your mouth and through your nose. Right around this time frame, gently increase. Over the course of 5 seconds, slowly begin pushing almost as hard as you dare as you feel those muscles contracting deeper in the hips. You can feel it really, really working. I want you to maintain your breathing. Keep that pressure toward the outside. Now increase here, last level over the course of 5 seconds. Increase to push as hard as you dare. You'll feel, hopefully, that your legs are shaking. It feels almost impossible to hold it in that position. We have 15 more seconds. Still push outward. Maintain your breathing. Keep your shoulders low. Stay in a good fixed position. Core engaged. Breathing deep. Pushing as hard as you dare for 5, 4, slowly as you can, gently decrease and begin relaxing. Good, fantastic. Now, I also want to warn you, you may not want to stand up right after doing either one of these exercises because it will feel like your muscles are completely tired. They can't do anything. So a couple minutes of just being seated after this is absolutely great. Give yourself a couple rest moments. You always have this table to hold on to. This is your touchstone to grab if you need to, of course. The last exercise that we're going to be covering today, you actually are going to be standing up to do it. And just very gently, you can touch the table and hold on to it as much as you need to, but very gently over the course of 5 to 10 seconds, just begin bringing your heels slowly and softly off the floor. Your weight is supported into the ball of your foot, and that's where your pressure goes. You begin to feel those calves burning by just a little bit, hopefully in the next 15 seconds or so. Still breathing deep. Again, you can hold onto this table throughout, and the more that you just let this go a little bit, of the table, the more you're going to feel the calves. But don't do it in a way that makes you fall over, of course. You always want to have a good handle to where you know you can grab hold of something and lower down if necessary. This might be tricky to hold your balance. Very gently increase over the course of 5 seconds. Continue to begin pushing almost as hard as you dare. Breathe in deep and squeezing into the muscles right here to feel those calves burning, doing their work right here. Remembering to breathe and increasing that intensity over the course of 5 seconds gently to begin pushing as hard as you dare. Still squeezing into the muscles, breathing deep. Now I know that in the first moment, the first time through this workout, it's possible that you may not make it all the way through to that 90 seconds, but continue challenging yourself, because you will eventually get to that point and even beyond it as time moves forward. This very last little bit, continue to breathe deep, hold yourself in that position, and very gently, slowly, over the course of 5 seconds, let your heels down and rest and relax. These 3 are the most essential lower body exercises to get started without having to get on the ground. This is a great way for 70-year-olds, 80-year-olds, 90-year-olds to really begin getting all of the benefits from exercise. I'll see you on the next video, the 3rd one in the series, tomorrow. Have a great day. Hi everyone, welcome back. This is part 3 of the absolute beginner's guide to strengthening your body for very deconditioned people. I would say even use the word frail, elderly, senior citizen. If you're in your 70s, 80s, or 90s, this 3-video series here on YouTube is going to help you begin conditioning your body to actually get the benefits that you're looking for. The other 2 videos, I'll just link up above and below here. You'll be able to watch those and get caught up and then come back and watch. This is the 3rd one right here. Today we're going to be doing the upper body. And I have 3 exercises that I've picked out. There's a lot more that can be done with the upper body here, but these are the most important ones that are going to give you the best bang for your buck. All of this, of course, is at a dining room table. You can download my free PDF. It's in the description box and in the comments down below. Go ahead and download this. It's absolutely everything that's in these 3 videos, this 3-part video series. This is going to be the bread and butter, the most important beginner section of my course, because almost everybody can do these exercises. If you can sit at a table, if you can stand up in front of a chair, you can do the majority of this. And if you can't stand up, the majority of people can still do exercises with their upper body in accordance with this course. The 3 we're covering today, and the most important one that we're going to be covering, is called a pullover. Now this was an older machine that was the very first Nautilus machine that was built. It was called the pullover machine, and it would begin pushing through the elbows all the way through a range of motion where you're using the top of your back, the shoulders here. You're pushing and you're engaging, contracting the core, and you're even using the chest muscles as well. So there's a ton going on here, and we're going to do this just using beach towels. It works out great. And just like all of these, this is going to be, we're pushing against an immovable object. Now, what you really do want is you want to make sure that if you're on a table of some sort, to get the absolute most out of this, you want your elbows to be a little bit higher. Right about here is where I would say would be perfect. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to replace this chair with one that's a little further to the ground. So I'll be sitting further down. Over the course of 5 seconds, gently begin increasing by pressing the elbows into the table right here until you're pushing with a moderate amount of effort. Let yourself breathe deep through your mouth and nose, engage your core. Feel the muscles here. It's the very top part of your back. Shoulders stay down while you're feeling and using the shoulder muscles. Over the course of 5 seconds or so, increase that intensity. You want to now be pushing almost as hard as you dare. Your core is engaged. You're feeling and using the chest and stomach muscles. Mostly that you're contracting is the very top part of the back. You can slouch into this a little bit to feel the stomach more. If we were told when we were kids not to slouch, we can feel the stomach working if we slouch further. Now over the course of 5 seconds, very slowly increasing that pressure, very gently, to be pushing now as hard as you dare. The stomach is engaged. You can breathe deep. Feel the muscles working in the top of the back, through the core, through the chest. Mostly the stomach and the very top part of those back muscles, as hard as you dare for the very next 10 seconds. Continue pushing deeply against this immovable object, as if you could bring the elbows down and back behind you. Here over the course of 5 seconds, gently release and slowly stop contracting the muscles here. That is a very powerful exercise to really begin strengthening the muscles that it takes to lift things up, to hold things upward, to be able to carry more things. So that really is a powerful exercise for being able to get into the muscles that allow you to carry more things, to hold more things, to lift things above your head as well. Some of those muscles engage through that as well. This next one, we're going to focus very deeply on just the chest muscles. And there's a piece of equipment in the gym, coincidentally enough, called the chest fly. And it's going to be starting here and just squeezing inward. The maximum contraction point where the chest muscles engage here is right around this point, at least. And so, of course, what we're going to do is we're going to take these towels very slowly over the course of 5 seconds, begin squeezing inward until you may feel the place engage there in your armpits. Close to them, it's below your shoulders. We're making sure we want to keep the shoulders down completely. There's a big difference between having them up and having them down. We're squeezing inward with that moderate amount of effort, feeling the chest, breathing deep. We want our stomach engaged. And very gently, over that same course of 5 seconds or so, begin increasing that pressure to squeeze inward toward that center line of your body, almost as hard as you dare. Squeezing toward the center, breathing deep through your mouth and nose, core staying engaged, feeling the chest, breathing, staying connected to feel the muscles that you're working. And very gently, same process, over the course of 5 seconds, begin increasing that pressure inward until you are squeezing toward your center line as hard as you dare. We want the body to begin shaking because we can't push barely any harder. As hard as we dare, we're pushing, breathing deep, still engaged, feeling the chest muscles placed near the armpits, just very gently, slowly, over the course of 5 seconds, begin decreasing that pressure and relax slowly. Again, another very important part of the body that is going to help you be able to simply do more things, live more, have more muscle mass. And of course, it's really the health benefits that we're looking for from this. The myokines that I've talked about in the other videos, I'm linking that video above as well. I hope you look at this and really see that your lives can be changed with this method of intense training that everybody needs, whether you're elderly or not. This is just accessible for everybody at your dining room table. The very last exercise that we're going to cover today, it's going to be working the bicep muscles. These burn a little bit deeper than some of the other muscles that we work. Essentially, the quads tend to burn more than any of the others, so many nerve endings there. And it's similar about the biceps. So this is a very uncomfortable thing as well. A reason that we want a very heavy table for this is because we're going to be contracting against it as well. Just like this. And we can begin pulling upward as if we could lift the table. We don't necessarily ever need to do that. We just begin with a moderate amount of effort over the course of that 5 seconds to increase, feel the muscles there in the inner arms. We're able to breathe deep through our nose and mouth and engage the core. We're fixed in this position, still again, very gently, over the course of that 5 seconds, increase that pressure. We're pushing now almost as hard as we dare. The core stays engaged. Remember to continue breathing deep. Remember, the shoulders always stay low. In order to stay safe, protect the neck, and then also continuing to breathe. You know it burns, it is intense, but continue to keep that pressure. And here, begin increasing over the course of 5 seconds that pressure upward as if you could squeeze that table off the floor. Keep in good form. Shoulders low, you're squeezing as hard as you can dare. Breathing, contracting against this immovable object while you're feeling the muscles deep in your body. Breathing through this final little bit as slow and as gentle as you possibly can. Begin gently decreasing that pressure and rest and relax over that course of 5 seconds. These exercises are immensely life-changing. I've seen people over the course of 7 years of doing this in a studio get so many amazing benefits, and I'm now seeing my clients that I'm working with over just consultations get amazing benefits, learn how to apply this on their own every single week. Now, this is a very different system than you could imagine. If you're moving to the very most intense that you can, momentary muscular failure, then you don't need to do this more than once or twice a week. We want to keep increasing our ability as time moves forward, but we need that rest in between times so our body can continue to grow and our muscles can rest. It does need that time. And as we grow older and as we even get more conditioned, we need more rest time. So depending on how you feel, again, if this makes you very tired, you may want to wait a few extra days. Go every 7 days or so. But all of this is in my course. And of course, once I release the course, this is probably in about a week and a half or 2 weeks, it'll be released completely. And it'll be down below. You can purchase it there, of course. You can sign up for my newsletter. And of course, that's where all of these free PDFs are. Down below, I have actually all 3 of those are listed now. I'll have those listed down below, those free PDFs, one for machines, one for fairly conditioned people, maybe in their 60s, who can get down on the ground, can do things like a push-up position. Of course, this is the PDF and the course that I'm launching for everybody to do things at home, whether you can get on the ground or whether you have to only do standing exercise. The course, it's for you because it's all included in it. So thank you for tuning in. I hope you share this triad of videos, the 3 that are included in this dining room table workout, with anyone who needs it. I really want to help people live a longer life through the power of strength training. I will see you on the next video. Have a good day.